Wi-Fi, giving you the freedom to get out and work wherever you want. Courtyard, it's a new stay.
In today's Robin Meade Express, we're going to do Songwriting 101 with the Lost Trailers. We're going to write a song about podcasting and podcast people, you.
Well, we might come up with like the music first, you know, and then like, so maybe.
Pretty cool, don't you think? We also may as well call this podcast the behind the scenes one, because we're going to ask our folks covering Gustav what it was like this time getting whipped around by the storm.
I think people are extremely concerned about what's going on right now.
But we start also behind the scenes. I'm going to take you to the Republican National Convention right now. By the way, we're in the CNN newsroom. It's always bustling with activity. Now, Melissa Long is at the RNC, and I want her to show us some things that normally you wouldn't get to see behind the scenes on the broadcast. Now, Melissa, can you deliver on that one?
Hi, Robin. I'm Melissa Long for CNN.com, covering the Republican National Convention 2008 here in St. Paul. 15,000 journalists from around the country, around the world, are covering this important political event. And to get inside, you need to have these credentials. The RNC has them color-coded and numbered for each day of the week. Now that we have these, we're going to take you inside the secure zone here right now. It's quiet right now on the floor of the convention hall. It will be bustling later today when all the delegates get here. You can see Hawaii kind of showing up the other states, bringing in native plants, and even a lei all the way from Hawaii. The stage right there, and behind the stage, that enormous HD television screen. When you come here in the early parts of the day, midday, you'll see some of the politicians, some of the lawmakers going up on the podium, getting comfortable before they have to address, a packed house of 45,000 people and millions of people watching at home. Now I want to give you a bird's eye view of the center. Perhaps my favorite part of the arena of this Xcel Energy Center, the balloons before the drop. We're upstairs here, bird's eye view of the floor as people are trickling in today. Close quarters for journalists. This is Carlos of CNN Plus. Hi, Carlos. Carlos is getting ready for a live shot. Don't want to disrupt him for too long. And here you can see close quarters right there. That's Reggie, hard at work, getting ready to file his story. His producer, Amy, hi. And of course, CNN in Espanol as well. And this is one of 4 suites that you can see other journalists hard at work today, getting ready for their live reports here from St. Paul and Minneapolis and the site of the Republican National Convention. Thank you for allowing us to take you behind the scenes here at the Republican National Convention. A little inside scoop of what really goes on to make all the broadcasts possible. Robin, back to you.
Melissa, you rock. Thank you very much. You know, Melissa's assignment at the RNC involves a lot of long hours, dealing with potentially turbulent interviews, and being blown away by late-breaking developments. Not entirely unlike covering a hurricane. Now, no matter what they tell you about being thrashed around by a hurricane's winds, reporters usually jump at the chance to cover such storms, even though it can be very dangerous. Now, I want to ask Sean Calebs. He's been covering Gustav in the Gulf Coast about what sorts of things he's noticing that maybe he hasn't shared on his live shots.
Hey, Robin, exactly right. You know, after the storm, everybody says, oh, it's a great time. But, it's the guys from the West Coast, Chicago, New York, that don't get down here much. I wonder how they react to it. We've been in a lot of them, and you get used to this. You have to get used to this. You eat a lot of tuna fish, you eat a lot of peanut butter, things that don't rot away. CNN provides these for us. World of Velcro and Gore-Tex. Waterproof, water resistant, water something. You get soaked. Trust me.
This is the mic we used on top of the roof during the hurricane with Rob Marciano.
Rob Marciano.
And the big thing is to keep it dry.
Keep it dry? Why?
So we've got it covered in plastic.
How about that?
Wrapped with duct tape.
Something like this, when it's just a glancing blow, everybody's happy. So let's get the power back on, get the city running again, and we'll do some more positive news out of the Gulf Coast, Robin. Back to you.
Now, I don't know about you, but personally, I'm always impressed with reporters who continue to make sense even though they're pushing their weight against the wind.
And if I wasn't holding on to this pole, I'd probably be in the Mississippi River by now.
See what I mean?
I wanna scream, Robin Meade.
All right, back out to one of the suburbs in Atlanta. We're at a club called Wild Bill's, and I wanted to take you behind the scenes to introduce you to a band called the Lost Trailers. They have a song in the top 10 of the country charts right now called Holler Back. Do you know it? Let me show you.
Holler back in the woods where the country folks got it good.
Now, my favorite line in that song is all the cowgirls shaking their sassafras. Play it, boys!
All the cowgirls shaking their sassafras.
That's the one. So these are the Lost Trailers. So let me take you behind the scenes now. They're great songwriters. And I want to show you how songwriting works. All right, so I wanted to ask the fellas, and they don't know I'm going to ask this, to write a song about podcasting and podcasting people, you guys, because I wanted you to see how songwriting works. So this is going to be a very shortened version, okay? If we want a song about podcasts and podcast people, podcast, I think of iPod, right? Is this how you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Write out a couple.
Okay, iPod, I want.
Right.
Tiny screen.
Okay. Well, we might come up with like the music first, you know, and then like, so maybe. You want to go upbeat with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like stream it up, you know, or something like.
iPod, I want a tiny screen and one at me.
Streaming Rob and me.
Streaming me.
Streaming me.
I wanna stream Robin Meade.
That was the chorus is
I
Okay.
wanna stream Robin Meade.
But
Okay.
you had the verse.
I want an iPod.
Yeah, so
How's that?
I want an iPod.
So I want an iPod, a tiny screen, and something big.
So I can tiny screens.
The I want iPod, tiny screen.
I want a tiny screen, a tiny screen, and a big old blog.
There you go.
Okay, so that's it. We got our song.
Yeah, let's try.
I want an iPod, tiny screens, and a big old block. Little bitty faces looking back at me, a little bit closer than on TV. High speed, loaded fast. Still got time to shake some sassafras. Hit a sip of coffee and I'm back to work. Look a little lyrical, my boss is there. I wanna stream Robin Meade. Yeah. One more time. I wanna stream Robin Meade.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! And that
Way to be,
is how songwriting is done.
That's right.
Now, full disclosure, no hiding behind the camera, right? I know the Lost Trailers. They're based in Atlanta, and I've even played around in the studio with the lead singer-writer.
Come back home tonight. I ain't sleeping without you.
See, what do you think? Yeah, well, someday I'll have to show you the rest of that tape. But for now, I have to bid you farewell like a beautiful, heartbreaking love song. So from everybody back here in the satellite coordination area, we bid you bye, you sweet podcast person, and I'll see you on the show.